All right, guys, now we're gonna talk about how to zero your optic. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is, before you start taking shots, go ahead and get your dot really, really close. So go ahead and get yourself a perfect sight picture. And then I want you to move that dot so that it's right at the top of that front sight. If you do that, it's gonna speed the process up for you dramatically before you start shooting. So don't just start taking shots. If you've got backup iron sights on the gun, use that to your advantage. The next thing we wanna do, and I recommend doing this at 10 yards, we're gonna take a 3 to 5 shot group. Do the best that you can from the most stable position that you can. Shoot a 3 to 5 shot group and see what you get on paper. If you give yourself too small of a dot or too small of a target, like this pasty, that might be difficult. It can cause you to anticipate. So maybe you use like a much larger circle for you to aim at, and you may not be so likely to go, that's perfect, okay? Give yourself, 3 to 5 shots, and let's say our 3 to 5 shots land over here somewhere. What we're looking to do is move the center of the group to our intended aiming area, okay? So in this case, we need to go up and to the right, okay? Up and to the right. So most of these optics, or a lot of them, are a 1 inch per click at 100 yards. So at 25 yards, you're only gonna move that dot or that point of impact 1/4 of an inch per click. So if I'm at 10 yards, I'm gonna have to be pretty aggressive with my adjustments. We're talking, I'm only gonna move it, a few tenths of an inch per click. So we want to be pretty aggressive with that, or less than a few tenths of an inch, to move it up and to the right. Now, if you look at your optic, it will typically have an arrow that says U with an arrow and R with an arrow. You're gonna take a tool and we're gonna adjust that optic, being fairly aggressive to start with, so that we move that point of impact. And let's say we got a little too aggressive and we ended up on the other side of it. All right, we shoot a nice tight group, then we make a few more adjustments until we get it exactly where we want it to be. And once you've done this at 10 yard, I highly recommend that you shoot the gun at close distances and then all the way back to 25, 50 yards, whatever, to make sure that you know what your point of impact is gonna be and that you confirm the point of impact is where you wanna be at a greater distance. Okay, guys, so you're working on this. Let's say you get a little frustrated, you're struggling a little bit here. Try to get as close as you can to a good 0. And then maybe the next time you come back to the range, you can reconfirm and do it again. A lot of times, guys that I know that are really, really good shooters, they don't trust their 0 on their gun until they've been to the range several times with it. You wanna make sure that it is correct. And again, trying to be perfect right out of the gate sometimes can be fairly difficult and frustrating. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There might be someone at your local gun range that knows a little bit more than you do. All right, guys, for those of you that are struggling with how to zero your optic or maybe new to this, I hope this video helps.